MrBeast just came out and said he rented the ancient Egyptian pyramids for 100 hours to shoot YouTube videos at, and everyone's freaking out about it.
We got all 3 of the pyramids of Egypt for 100 hours. I'm going to do a video where they're going to let me explore anywhere I want in the pyramids for 100 hours. We're going to sleep at the pyramids all to ourselves.
Right after this clip went viral, the internet had a lot to say about this, so confused how MrBeast was able to pull this off, calling the Egyptian government corrupt, but others thought it was a really cool idea and are excited to see the video. So is the Egyptian government just selling to the highest bidder, or is this just one huge misunderstanding? First of all, right after that clip went viral, the Egyptian government came out and said MrBeast did not get any sort of special treatment. He had to pay a small fee to film, and he was not able to sleep in or on top of the pyramids. One of my biggest problems when I first heard about this was I really felt bad for the travelers that spent all this time and money to make it to the pyramids, and when they got there, they couldn't go in because a YouTuber was filming. I feel like I would be super pissed off, but that is not the case. The Egyptian government said he was only able to film during certain hours of the day when the normal tourism hours were over for that day. So he was most likely filming when the pyramids were closed, so there's not really a big problem with that. As you know, there's always 2 sides to every story. There's a lot of positives in this and negatives, but first let's start with the positives. Personally, I think this was a brilliant marketing strategy for Egypt's tourism board because they got MrBeast to pay them and to film a huge video there, which will definitely boost up tourism numbers. I think this is huge for the country because 25% of Egypt's GDP comes from the tourism sector, so it's definitely going to boost those numbers up. On top of that, the Egyptologist and former Minister of Tourism stated that he's really excited for these videos to come out because it's going to help people understand more of the history of Egypt and debunk the myth that aliens built the pyramids. Now, later on in this video, I'm going to talk about my own experience traveling throughout Egypt and especially seeing these pyramids. But one thing I will say, I'm still very confused how they built these things that long ago because it's otherworldly when you see them in person. Before we move on to the negatives of this, I really want to point out the fact that this isn't the first time someone's rented out the pyramids to film at. Transformers has been filmed there, Death on the Nile, there have been concerts there, and also National Geographic and other news agencies have done entire series surrounding the Egyptian pyramids where they had to get permits just like MrBeast in film. There's even been weddings here, like the one that just happened this past year with the creator of Built Rewards. They had one and it looked extraordinary with the backdrop of the pyramids. It was around $200,000 just for the venue, which I don't think isn't that bad because you are at the Egyptian pyramids, which is absolutely insane. But the total cost of the wedding was $3 million, so that's pretty crazy. My biggest question is, why is everyone freaking out that MrBeast is filming at the pyramids when all sorts of TV shows and movies have been filmed here in the past and no one got upset about it? I'm pretty sure it's probably because he's a YouTuber. Everyone just sees him as a single person, but he is his own company and enterprise. This man has a lot of pull around the world. He has a big company. This is just yet another way to entertain people. And on top of that, MrBeast isn't able to like have game shows on the pyramids and jump around and do all this crazy stuff. He does have regulations and he has a tour guide with him the entire time. I do think MrBeast is going to end up respecting where he is and just really teach people and show people all about the pyramids. Now let's move into some more negatives of this entire situation. First of all, yes, this will bring in more money to this tourism sector, but in the end, the government will take most of the money that comes in and not bring it back to the people. I say this because 30% of Egypt is below the poverty line. They are overextending themselves on building a new capital outside of Cairo. They already spent $60 billion. They're already $15 billion over budget. Inflation is running rampant and their currency has devalued 50% since COVID times. So it's a really bad situation there now. So that's why I think the government is just taking money where they can get it. A second potential negative is if MrBeast disrespects the pyramids in any way. This is such an important piece of history. It's so sacred to Egypt and the Egyptian people. So it all depends on what type of video he creates here, but we'll see when it drops sometime in January. And the third negative is copycats. I almost think this is going to start becoming a trend of if you have enough money, you could rent out any specific landmark in the world and make videos there just to gain more and more views. And I think some people will just see this as disrespect because a lot of the landmarks around the world are very important to people and their culture. I saw this Instagram comment about this whole situation that says, later MrBeast will rent the whole planet for some Minecraft game. I think that could happen because nowadays it's all about getting as many views as possible. People are doing crazier and crazier things. I want to talk a little bit about my wife and I's experience when we traveled Egypt for 3 weeks. We went to Cairo, Luxor, and the Red Sea. Let me tell you, Egypt is by far the most corrupt place we've traveled to in the past 5 years. We've been to 45 different countries around the world, and Egypt was really, really hard. I'm not trying to say all Egyptians or all of Egypt are a bunch of scam artists. I'm just saying the people that are surrounding the tourist sites in places like Cairo and Luxor try to take advantage of tourists that come in every day. Anna and I got scammed so much in Egypt that we made an entire dedicated YouTube video talking about each of the scams that happened. Now you can check that video right up here. It'll pop up there. We also have 4 whole videos about Egypt. So we make travel guides for you guys to travel there. But back to all the scams that happened to us. First, when you're visiting the pyramids in Cairo, there will be endless amount of scam artists surrounding this place. It is crazy what they come up with. First of all, when you're walking around, they're gonna be like, I'll take your picture, I'll take your picture. And then we thought they're being nice. They take a picture of us and then they're like, I need money. And if you don't pay them, which we didn't, they'll follow you around the entire place, which just ruined the experience. Next, there was a guard at the bottom of the Great Pyramid and he looked at us and he was like, go, you can climb up. Don't worry, it's allowed, it's legal. And we're like, there's no way. He had a big gun, he was the security guard and he was just like, you can go up. So Anna just climbed like the little bit because he was really pushy about it. And then he looks over at me and he's like, and I was like, even the guards at the pyramids are corrupt. You really can't catch a break. Third, we were walking around Cairo and people would just start yelling at us at every part of the street, just being like, no, don't cross there. Don't cross here. You have to go over here. And we're new in Cairo. So we're like, okay. And we found him for a second. And then he's like, and I'm like, why would I pay you money? He's like, I showed you the way. I was your tour guide. And I was like, are you kidding? And then they'll just keep following you. It's very weird, but you kind of just get over it after a while because it happens so much. Last one I want to talk about is how we got scammed inside the airport. We just got lost in the airport, didn't know where we're going. So we asked someone that worked there, where should we go? So he's like, oh, I'll show you. And he was really nice. And I was like, oh, this guy's really nice. He's going to show us all the way. He walked us to our gate and then demanded money and then almost tried to steal money out of my wallet. It was so aggressive, and that just goes to show you can't really trust a lot of the officials in this whole entire country. It's really scary. I know this will probably turn you off from ever wanting to visit Egypt, but please don't allow that to happen. I'm telling you right now, all you have to do is beforehand set up tour guides throughout your entire trip, and that way they will protect you from these scams. Egypt is mind-blowing. You need to see this history in person. The pyramids, Luxor, the temples, you get to see mummies, and you definitely need to go visit the Red Sea and swim with dolphins or go scuba diving. I think the Red Sea was my favorite part of all of Egypt because those dolphins, this country has so much to offer. There's so many kind people, great food. You just have to be wary when you're planning this trip out. If you plan it right, it'll be amazing. Now, after hearing all of that, I know it was a lot to take in. I want to hear what you guys think. Is the MrBeast situation that big of a deal? Is it good, bad, indifferent? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, what is your guess on how much MrBeast paid to do this? Mine is $1 million he had to pay. If that wedding was $200,000, it would make sense. This is my very first travel news segment on our channel. I've never done this before. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it because I'm going to start doing more and more of these. And also let me know what you guys want me to cover. We will see you in the next one. Woo!